Hello, colourful people of Cape Town, and welcome to our Beaglez Home-brewed interview series. Today I'm going to be talking to Aunty Nita. Aunty Nita, like me, grew up on the Cape Flats in Jurassic Park, and she's passionate about sharing the stories of the Cape Flats with people. For those of you who don't know, the Cape Flats is actually a low-lying, flat area southeast of the Cape Town CBD. And during the apartheid years, because of the group areas, many coloured people were actually moved from their homes on more of the mountainous suburbs to this low-lying flat area. Tell us about why you decided to include the Cape Flats tour as part of your offering.
The stories and the culture that is alive and well and persevering every day, day to day on the Cape Flats. Okay, and for those of you who drive or come along Klipfontein Road, you will see this big red brick building, which signifies for us here in Cape Town, it signifies the arts, and it signifies culture, and it signifies music and singing and dancing. But there's a story behind the Joseph Stone, and there's also a story behind the Eon Group, which is the cultural group that is housed in the Joseph Stone. And many of us don't realize that that group stems from District 6. Eon Group started as an aftercare in District 6 back in the 1930s. And so this building for me now represents arts and culture.
So explain the significance of the special meaning behind
Aunty Nita's. In the community, there's always this one lady who's not your mommy, she's not your biological auntie, but she's auntie. Okay, because she's that safe place in the road. She's the place that everybody runs to when mommy's at work and I get sore. I run to Auntie so-and-so down the road, she's going to put a plaster on. And if I'm wrong, she's going to give me a couple of smacks. Obviously, my name's Anita, and our neighbour, my neighbour's son, he speaks with a little bit of a brain. Okay, and for me, it was just so special when I would arrive home in the evening or be outside of the house, and he would come past and he would say, "Hello, Aunty Nita, hello, Aunty Nita," you know, and that just drew me to this whole thing of, hey, that's warm, and that's hospitable, and that's comfortable, and that's comforting, so why the heck not? You are me, Aunty Nita, so it's about you, so.
I went on the Athlone Cape Flats tour, but maybe give a little bit of background into the different tours that you offer.
Okay, so my tours are generally half day. I like to start in Cape Town at District 6 because, as you mentioned in your intro, that's where it all started. That's where we were moved from, and we were moved from this beautiful view of the sea and this beautiful mountain behind us, and we moved to this nothing, this barren land. So when we come to Athlone, it is more about the liberation struggle. It is more about the 1980s, and that decade when we were in a state of emergency and the youth were taking to the streets and they were stepping up and saying, hey, this apartheid thing needs to go. Also, obviously, because we are in Athlone, we are in the home of the Gatsby.
Yes.
So it has to be part of our tour. My Jurassic Park tour links again District 6. We look at the mosque at the beginning of Victoria Road, at the key, as it's called, the key to the flats. Also, Jurassic Park is famous for the Community Day Hospital. The Community Day Hospital was one of 5 buildings that was part of the submission for Cape Town becoming the design capital of 2014. My favourite is going into Hanover Park. Okay, now, if you mention Hanover Park, the majority of people say, what? No, am I safe? The gangsters are there. So there's an organisation called Ceasefire which works with people to help bring them out, so to speak, of gangsterism. To make people see, wow, to make people walk away and go, oh, there's something good that's happening here. This is something that we need to showcase.
There's obviously a lot that goes into preparing for these tours. What sort of research, what sort of preparation do you do?
For Athlone itself, it was literally, firstly, Google is my friend, you know, internet, books, newspaper articles, and then it was going out and meeting people. Going and spending time with people in the community and listening to their stories.
Yes.
Because that is what makes it authentic. Spent a lot of time just knocking on doors. Hello, I'm Anita, this is what I do, this is what I'm planning to do.
In putting together this tour, what was one of the most interesting discoveries that you found out about Athlone?
Nelson Mandela, when he was released on the 11th of February 1990, he stood at the Grand Parade and he mentioned a name, he mentioned Ashley Krill. Coming into Athlone, starting to learn more and more. I mean, I was a student during the 1980s. I was at high school. I experienced those, the state of emergency and the not being able to go to school, the stayaways and the programs, awareness programs, as they were called. I experienced all of that, right? But it is here, researching and prepping for tours here, that I came almost face to face with the struggle that people like Ashley went through and the sacrifices that they've made. Colin Williams and Robbie Williams, which Colin, by the way, who came through Joseph Stone. And then, for me, the biggest one, besides Ashley and Colin and Robbie, was Anton France. The fact that there was a 7-hour battle that took place back in 1989, right here on the streets of Athlone. And now you start reading and you start digging and you start speaking to people, and you think, wow, one guy alone stood and fought off the professional unit of the security forces for 7 hours. For me, that blew my mind.
No, I mean, I also remember on the tour last week that blew my mind. And I think when I went to the Trojan Memorial, I was like, I actually, like, my heart was beating because I just felt so overwhelmed by emotion. And then I think I went to the Krombo Memorial Park, and seeing that, what's left, what's there to recognize all these people, is a brick wall with a few blocks.
Exactly.
It feels too little.
Exactly. We build as a rainbow nation. And if you think of the colors, you think white, black, colored, Indian, you don't get a full perspective of the rainbow if you only see the yellow or you only see the purple. You don't get a full perspective of South Africa if you only see the white suburbs, or the pretty places, the V&A waterfront, Groot Constantia, Cape Point, Table Mountain. I think people are missing out. There are so many people who have missed out on having a Gatsby, having a good sister in an auntie's kitchen, having
a Sunday lunch on the Cape Flats.
There we go.
I remember when I went on your Athlone tour just a week ago, you spoke about snoek braai.
Ooh.
And you did this for your guests. Are there some other highlights that you can tell people that they can expect?
Having a Gatsby.
for the international people that may be watching this, what is a Gatsby?
Oh, you haven't done about a Gatsby. A Gatsby is a long roll of bread, okay, that's been cut in half and it's been filled with chips, number one. Then polony. Polony is a processed meat. And then something strong, usually like an achar, we call it, like a chutney, like a sauce. Okay, that's the basic, that's the original Gatsby.
I lived in London, so I moved to London when I was 24 years old, had the brilliant European experience, and I came back, landed at Cape Town International Airport, walked across the runway, and here in the corner of my I hear someone saying, "Away, girl!" Yes!
Wow.
I missed Cape Town. I am home.
Oh, yes.
So, what are some of those Cape Town expressions?
Away, massacres. Yes.
What are some of your favorites?
Some of my favorites, lighties.
Lighties, yeah.
Little children, okay? My son annoys the heck out of me when he says, "Say." Say. No, boy, it's yay. It's say.
Yeah, when you go to Stellenbosch University like I did, and it's yay and save it Afrikaans.
Oh, exactly. And then the biggest thing about the Cape Flats is
Passionate.
the peasant gap. The peasant gap. If you walk on the Cape Flats, yes, a lot of people, it was a fashion, it was a thing to do, to remove your front teeth. And a lot of them will say, because I can kiss better. Genuinely.
Okay, so I mean, I think there's so many stories like this, and I'm sure you can entertain your guests, your clients. How do they reach you?
Okay, so I'm on all the social media platforms. I have a website, it's www.auntynitas.co.za. You can email me at anita@auntynitas.co.za, or you can just WhatsApp me or call me on 082 572 7377. This is just the start. I truly believe that this is just the start of something amazing for us as Victorians on the Great Plains.
Sure, I'm getting goosebumps.
Talk about you.
Exactly. Beaglez is all about finding those experiences that we like and we think that you'll like, and Aunty Nita's is one of them. So friends, hashtag Cass